UFC Des Moines. My name is Young Pastey, aka the White Boy Wonder, and I'm here today to give you the full card breakdown for UFC Des Moines. You saw the corn earlier. That is a nod to my homeland, okay? I was born and raised in Iowa, okay? Born in Davenport, Iowa. I went to college in Des Moines for a couple of years, so shout out to all my people at Grandview University, Drake University. Shout out to all my people in the Quad Cities area. You know who you are. So this card, has a little personal touch and feel to me, so I'm super excited to break it down. I'll drop some, Iowa lore throughout the video here, so keep your ears open for it, okay? Now, as we always do, I gotta break down last week, UFC Kansas City. Pulling the results up now, and whoo-wee! Look at that. We had a great week, guys. 12-2 on the picks. Look, we could have went 13-1. Honestly, we could have went undefeated. Okay, the Chelsea Chandler pick was just... It was a bad pick, okay? I'll admit it. I saw a path to victory. It didn't happen. It didn't play out. She didn't take it. She got her butt whooped, okay? Now, the Roberto Romero fight, again, man, I am tired of these referees calling these fights so fast, okay? I mean, people are up 2 rounds. Okay, this and the Sean Woodson fight, okay? Terrible stoppages, both of these. Guys, both of these fighters are up 2 rounds. They eat one big shot. They don't give them a chance to recover at all. Call the fight. I just don't agree with these stoppages, man. But hey, some fights to kind of pinpoint, pick out here. Ian Gary, man, Carlos Prates really was a letdown. The 5th round had me on skates, but Ian Gary came through with a kind of a classy kind of win. Abus Magomedov, underdog coming through. The Michelle Pereira gas tank proved to still be atrocious. I don't know what's going on over there. Evan Elder put on a show for me. Malcolm Wellmaker, lights out KO over Cameron Simon. That was really nice. Damon Blackshear with the win, and Randy Brown with the KO too. Bittersweet for my bets, but nevertheless, he still came out with the win. Hey, 12-2 on a 14 fight card is pretty dang good, okay? So I will take that. Let's roll the good momentum into next week here. Overall, we are 105-63 for the year. And hey, I am super excited for UFC Des Moines. Any Iowa fighters on the card here? I'm pulling that corn back out. I'll take another bite of corn, out of respect for my Iowa people there. So, if you're new to the channel and you haven't, click that subscribe button, like the video, comment, share it to your friends and family. Support goes a long way, okay? Let's get to it now. UFC Des Moines. The main event. We got Cory, Sandhagen versus Deiveson, Figueiredo. Deuce de Guerra. Odds on the fight right now are sitting at minus 485 for Cory and plus 370 for Figgy. My pick for this fight is going to be Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Cory Sandhagen. Does he come out to that song? I'm pretty sure he has, or was at some point. Man, we got Cory Sandhagen, man. Figgy in his last fight really got exposed by Peter Yan. Peter Yan put on a masterclass. This move up to 135 Figgy was looking okay, right? Beats Rob Font, beats Cody Garbrandt, beats Marlon Vera. Things are looking really good. Gets completely exposed by Peter Yan, man. Completely exposed. I think Cory Sandhagen has shown huge grappling improvements in the last few years here. And, these 3 wins here really cut up and, ultimately put on a good show striking-wise for Song Yadong. Mixed in the wrestling, I think this really didn't need to be a split. I think he took that fight handedly. And then Rob Font, that was a complete show of dominance in that fight when it comes to the wrestling there. Now, Umar Nurmagomedov, that fight, that guy is an OV. He's going to be a much better wrestler than both of these guys, okay? Umar goes up against Figgy. I think that's an easy win for Umar. But, Cory Sandhagen, the reason why I think he wins this fight is those huge grappling improvements are going to show. Okay, he's going to be able to take Figgy down. Okay, and when it comes to the feet too, I think he has great striking. I think he has elusive striking. And I think when it comes to the power side, right, I think Figgy has a little more power, even when it comes up, when he comes up to this 135 weight class, right? Man, that last fight with Peter Yan was just such a terrible look for him. Exposed him in so many ways. And I think Cory Sandhagen is going to watch. And he's smart, okay? He's a veteran in this game, okay? He mixes up all his shots when he's striking. If he gets taken down for some reason, right? He has good BJJ. He has good scrambles and, sprawls. I think he's going to be able to get up, from a takedown for Figgy. Figgy's not going to be able to hold him down on the ground too long. Now, I will say, don't discredit Figgy at all. This guy is tough. He's Brazilian. He has decent BJJ. So when he does eventually get taken down by Cory, the sub threat's live and is there. Okay, his striking is okay, but that KO power is there too. And we've seen Cory Sandhagen get hit tons of times. I mean, he can and will get hit and touched. Okay, I just think that the veteranness in this division, right? The wrestling improvements that he's shown. The switching, the great cardio. He's from Colorado, switching, training in Colorado Elevation. I think his striking is unique and nice. Has good elbows. Has lots of volume too. And we've seen Figgy get broken down. He accepted bottom position, and really had no way to get up from Peter Yan. And that was not a good look at all. So, do I like the odds? No. Minus 45 and plus 370. I mean, gosh, you're going to have to put Sandhagen in like a parlay to even, to get that number down. Minus 45 is crazy. I think the odds are a little too wide, right? I think Cory Sandhagen maybe a 2 or 3 to 1 favor would make sense, but almost a 5 to 1 favor here. I don't know, man. I don't know. I do think Cory Sandhagen gets it done. I think he gets it done by decision. Figgy's a tough guy. If you can go 5 rounds with Peter Yan less than a year ago, you can do that with Cory Sandhagen. I got Cory Sandhagen by decision. What do the people on Tapology have to say? So 78% of people on Tapology are picking Sandhagen. 22% of people are picking Figgy. The people on the Sandhagen side, 91% of people on the Sandhagen side say by decision. And on the Figgy side, we have 65% by decision, and then a split for sub and KO, 19% and 15%. KO 19, sub by 15. 7% of people saying Sandhagen KO. I don't know. I don't see it. I really don't. Elevation Fight Team fighting with some dogs up there, man. I really like Cory Sandhagen in this match. I don't like the odds, but I do think he gets it done by decision. Pretty solid main event for my folks down there in UFC Des Moines. Now Des Moines, those guys will get rowdy. Okay, there's lots of big old farmers and crazy white guys. Honestly, there's gonna be a bunch of drunk people in the crowd. Okay, let's just say that. They're gonna get rowdy down there. They're gonna want violence. Okay, they don't want holding, and they're probably gonna be booing Cory Sandhagen, to be honest with you, or whoever's. Oh man, maybe in this co-main event, they may be booing these guys. But I think this is a solid co-main event here. We have Reinier de Ridder versus Bo Nickal. RDR versus Bo Nickal. Odds on the fight here, we have plus 250 for RDR and minus 310 for Bo Nickal. My pick for this fight, I'm rolling with the underdog in the co-main. Give me RDR. Okay, give me RDR to fraud check Bo Nickal. I am tired of the UFC feeding him these easy wins. Look at these people he's going up against. Jamie Pickett, Donovan Beard, Val Woodburn, Cody Brundage. Paul Craig was his best competition and beats him by, a boring decision. Bo Nickal's about to get fraud checked. I respect his cardio. I respect his wrestling. His ground and pounds, meh. Right? His striking is raw. super ineffective, really. I mean, this is honestly probably going to be either a full-on grappling match where someone takes the edge, or the wrestling and grappling will kind of nullify itself and it'll become a striking match. And if it becomes a striking match at that point, RDR has the advantage all day. I think he has much better striking than Bo Nickal does. I think he has much better fence work and clinch work. This dude, I don't know if you guys have seen, Reinier de Ritter's build, like his body shape and type. He just looks like a weird look. Look it up, okay? Look up how RDR looks. He's a weird looking guy. But needless to say, dude's super hittable with that super weird build. He's going to have a reach advantage. He's going to be bigger than Bo Nickal here. He does have decent, sprawls and scrambles, okay? And he's kind of sneaky with it too. We've seen him sub Gerald Meerschaert, who, is a pretty damn good grappler and a good submission threat and artist. I mean, he had him in suspect, situations. And on the other side, Meerschaert had RDR in compromised situations. He comes through with the win in the third round. Bo Nickal, dude, I think you're going to get fraud checked here. I think he's overrated. I think he's very cocky. I think he's overconfident. I just think that this is the spot that he will lose, and somewhere random in the middle of Iowa, right? It's like, I don't know. I don't like this here. I don't like this spot for Bo Nickal, dude. I knew the time would come. I was just waiting for the spot for it to come, and this is it, dude. RDR is going to take this, okay? We got RDR by decision. I think Bo Nickal will be able to last in there. I don't think RDR is going to get a sub on him. I don't think RDR is going to get a KO, and I think it's going to be more over a position over submission kind of thing. I don't think, like I said before, where the wrestling is going to nullify from them and it's going to become a striking match. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I think RDR is better on the feet, right? But better fence work, better clinch work. I think RDR is a little bit more stronger than Bo Nickal. He has much more fighting and MMA experience than Bo Nickal does. Bo Nickal has a lot of wrestling experience, but not MMA experience. 7-0 versus 19-2. I mean, dude has triple the fights than Bo Nickal does. You know what I mean? So I got RDR by decision. I think a good look because, for some reason the UFC loves this guy. I think a good look, maybe RDR plus 3.5, on the betting side of things, right? I think he could take a round at least. At least. I don't think Bo Nickal's going to finish RDR. I don't see that happening. Yeah, give me RDR by decision. What do the people on Tapology have to say? I'm probably on the other side. We'll see. Oh, look at that, guys. So 56% of the Tapology community is picking RDR. 44% picking Bo Nickal. Most people are saying RDR by submission? Nah, no way. 37.9% of people on the RDR side are saying by decision. On the Bo Nickal side of things, most say by decision, 74.2%. They think 16.9% by knockout. Who, really? They think Bo Nickal's going to knock out RDR? I don't see that. I think submission is more likely. But, yeah, I got RDR by decision. I think it's going to be a pretty solid co-main event. I'm pretty excited for it. Moving on. Our next fight on the main card. Some UFC vets going at it here. We got Santiago Ponzinibbio, the Argentine Dagger, versus D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez. Odds on the fight, we have minus 120 for Santiago Ponzinibbio, and we have plus 100 for Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod. Let's see. My pick for this fight. This one was a little tricky for me to pick, but I ended up picking Daniel Rodriguez, D-Rod. That is my pick for this fight. Why I picked him? Here's the thing. As long as he doesn't get taken down and he stays active with his volume, I think that wins him in this fight. I think he gets it done by decision. Santiago, I mean, personally, I think he gets, and you can see it. I think he gets pretty tired in the second, third round, which this fight will end up going. Daniel Rodriguez really needs to withstand the takedowns. I mean, it's not like Santiago is out here taking down people left and right. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Is he going to mix that into his game? We'll see. If this is a standing 3-round fight, striking, I mean, D-Rod's going to take that all day. Even though he's a little bit hittable, I like his kicks. He puts in decent little combos, right? 6, 7, 8 hit combos that are nice and hit hard. Again, I like his volume. He needs to keep his volume up. This dude, both these guys were, ranked at one point, right? He has bad get-up game. He can get taken down and stay there. It's hard for him to really kind of get back up. He's usually on the back end of things, right? He's usually on the back foot. He's usually getting pressured. So I will probably see Santiago, pressure on Daniel Rodriguez. But I like his counters, right? I like his counters. I mean, D-Rod is a Southern Cali prison boy. I believe this dude was in jail for a while, and fighting brought him back, and gave him something to fight for, and not go to jail. You know what I mean? And he finds himself in an underdog spot here versus Santiago later in his career. The thing that worries me with Santiago is he can get chinned. He's had lots of injuries in the past. He's kind of hesitant at times, and he's just not who he used to be. Right, he has okay overhands. He has nice 1-2s. Everything's kind of just okay. He doesn't have that crazy knockout power. Yes, he knocked out Carlston Harrison, but come on, dude, that's like an old man he's going up against. You're losing against Muslim Salikov by split decision. I mean, that fight could have gone either way, but I mean, why are we going, split decision with a 40-year-old Muslim? Got handled by Kevin Holland. I mean, Alex Morano, both these guys have beaten them. And then, losing to Michel Pereira by decision a few years ago when he was actually decent. We saw Michel Pereira last week. Yeah. Fumbled the bag, and gas tank showed to be still atrocious. I don't know what's going on with him. But anyway, D-Rod, don't get taken down. Hit him up with the volume. Put in those nice combinations. Maybe, make it boring on the fence a little bit. Hold him there. I think he can get the job done, dude. Give me D-Rod by decision. Give me the underdog, guys. It's a close fight. It's going to be a really close fight, man. For the love of gosh, please, D-Rod, don't get taken down. Not odds. The Tapology community, we have 75% of people picking Santiago Ponzinibbio. 60% of those people say by decision. The other 40% basically say by KO. 25% of people on the Rodriguez side, most say by decision. 71% by decision. And 27.5% by KO. Surprised to see that the picks here are not closer, right? The odds say it's a pretty close fight. Daniel Rodriguez at plus 100. The odds on Tapology are never correct. That's why I say them verbally. But yeah, dude, D-Rod plus 100, underdog status. It looks like that number's going to keep going up. So if you're looking to bet on the D-Rod side, might want to wait a little bit. Odds will probably get better throughout the week. But I got Daniel Rodriguez. We move on to the next fight on the card. We have Montel Quick Jackson versus Daniel Marcos Soncora. Odds on the fight, we have minus 205 for Montel Jackson and plus 170 for Daniel Marcos. My pick for this fight is going to be Montel Jackson. This was a close one because I like Daniel Marcos a lot. And I looked for ways to pick him, but I cannot deny Montel Jackson's success in the UFC. I can't. He's 8-2 in the UFC. He has 5 wins in a row. Coming off I know I don't like the inactivity, and I'm just gonna say it right now. He's fighting once a year. I don't like it, but it's working, right? And he comes out and starches Damon Blackshear. Violent KO. Damon Blackshear is a guy that we like. Okay, I backed him off, and I backed him in that fight too. He was a slight underdog. I said, man, I think he can take... Nope. He did not take care of business, man. He got knocked out quick. Montel Jackson has some heavy hands. He has that KO power. And, he's riding a 2-fight KO streak, but don't get it twisted, dude. This guy can go 3 rounds. I've seen him go 3 rounds with both of these guys here. Julio Arce and JP Pies. He's a well-rounded fighter. Montel Jackson's a well-rounded fighter, man. He has super great knees. He mixes in the wrestling, has great fence work. He has awesome, jiu-jitsu as well. Cardio's there. He can go 3 rounds easy, so I'm not worried about the cardio. Great kicks to all levels. He has more UFC experience than Daniel Marcos, too. Been in the UFC much longer. I just think he's better in all aspects than Daniel Marcos. I'm sorry to say it, man. It's tough for me. I like Daniel Marcos, dude. He's undefeated. He's tough. He's gritty. He has good kickboxing. He has good kicks too. He has good boxing, right? Montel Jackson does too, right? But I think Montel Jackson has better boxing than Marcos. Oh, it's tough. Marcos is hittable. He will get pressured here by Montel. He has good cardio. Okay, I'll give it to him. He's training out in Peru, right? Peru's super high up in the air. He's just finding ways to win in the UFC. Now, Montel Jackson's out here finishing people and, putting on notable performances and showing dominant performances when it comes to these decisions here. And Daniel Marcos, man, he's getting split decision wins, and the competition he's going up against, right? Like Damon Blackshear, I think would smoke all these guys that Daniel Marcos has gone up against, and he's winning against these people by split decision. Ryan Yaha's trash. Julio Arce is good competition. JP Pies, meh. Jesse Strader, meh. But you can go back into Montel Jackson's, further fights there. He's fighting good people, right? Daniel Marcos, man, he's tough. This is, I don't know, man. I don't know how. Montel Jackson is gonna win. I just don't know if it's gonna be by KO or by decision. Marcos is hittable, right? He will get hit, but he has an okay chin, right? He's not getting crazily wobbled or knocked down to the ground in the fight, almost getting finished, right? It was tough for me to come down to it, but I just couldn't find a way to pick Daniel Marcos, man. Montel Jackson is the pick. I'm going to have to say by decision, okay? I'll give Daniel Marcos credit. I think he can go all 3 rounds with Montel. No. No, man, because I think Blackshear would smoke Marcos. Dude, give me Montel Jackson by KO. What am I saying, dude? Give me Jackson by KO. What does Tapology have to say? So, 76% of people on Tapology picking Montel Jackson. 24% of people picking Daniel Marcos. The people on the Jackson side, 53% by decision, 45.8% by KO. The people on the Marcos side saying 91.7% by decision. That's usually how he wins fights. Damn, look at the reach advantage. I forgot to mention too, Montel Jackson's much bigger and stronger, and quicker, hence the name. 5'10" to 5'7", 70. He has a 6-inch reach advantage. Man, give me Montel Jackson, dude, all day. We move on to the next one. Oh, okay. We have Cameron Smotherman, the baby-faced killer, versus Serhiy. Odds on the fight, we have plus 114 now for Cameron Smotherman and minus 135 for Sidey. My pick for this fight is going to be Serhiy. This was another tricky one, dude. There were a lot of tricky fights to pick here. I ended up on the City side because I think he's going to be able to hold the distance between Cameron Smotherman. He's very long and lanky, right? He has good kicks. He uses that kind of like to hold people away from him and keep that distance. He has a nice little jab too. Cameron Smotherman, man, he's put himself into some bad suspect situations a lot. He's going to be the smaller fighter in this situation. I just feel like this range for him is going to be difficult to overcome. I don't think he's going to be able to close distance on City. I don't. Now, in previous fights, like this win over Garrett Armfield, he didn't win this fight, bro. Okay, give that to Garrett Armfield, man. I didn't like that call at all. Knocks out Ramon Taveras on the Contender Series, but then loses to him. He did lose that fight. I mean, I'll give credit to him. He's tough. He can take a shot. And Ramon Taveras was kind of just walking him down like a dog. But I don't think Cameron Smotherman's going to be able to do that. I don't think he's going to be able to overcome that reach or those kicks. And, City has a little more UFC experience than Cameron Smotherman, right? I think the wrestling on City side is ineffective, so don't even use it. Because, Cameron Smotherman, if he gets taken down, he gets controlled, dude. And we've seen it in his fights. So maybe, I don't know, maybe City sees that and mixes that up. That's, from what I've seen, his wrestling really isn't there, right, on the UFC level. We'll see. We'll see if he mixes it in. It would suit him well if it's effective, right? Because Cameron Smotherman, he gets smothered on the ground, right? He can't really get back up, and we've seen him get controlled and bodied for rounds and rounds and rounds. But he's tough. He faces adversity and overcomes it. And in those fights where he did get bodied and controlled on the ground, what did he do in the later rounds? He gets up at some point and knocks him out, okay? So he has that KO ability. He has decent cardio, okay? He can go 3 rounds too. He could land a KO at some point on City, right? So KO from Cameron Smotherman is definitely not out of the question. But I think City gets it done by decision. I think he just has the slight edge here with keeping that range and that distance. I think that's just going to be a huge advantage for him. But hey, Cameron Smotherman does some Ramon Taveras and walks him down like a dog. Might have to eat a few shots getting in, but maybe he can get in there and close the distance at some point. He really just needs to make it his style fight. It can't be playing this City game where he's dancing, moving around, getting his nice little shots in. Ooh, nice little entries because I got the distance and the reach and then move back. So I do like City in this fight though. I haven't backed him really before ever. Here I am doing it. What do the people on Tapology have to say? Wow. So 75% of people are picking Cameron Smotherman. 92% by decision. 25% of people picking City. They say either by decision. 72.7% by decision. And 26% by KO. Smotherman could get KO'd here, dude. City has some nice hooks. He has good kicks. Could find the liver. Nice knees too. He has some decent power. Okay, City has some decent power. So does Smotherman. Yeah, I like City. Give me City by decision. We move on. To the next fight. We have a hometown favorite, Jeremy Stephens, Lil Heathen, okay, versus Mason Jones, the Dragon. Odds on the fight, we have plus 425 for Jeremy Stephens and minus 575 for Mason Jones. First off, shout out to my boy, Jeremy Stephens, born and raised in Des Moines, Iowa. I believe this should be his last fight ever. I hope it is. So, shout out to you for getting a UFC fight here in Des Moines in your hometown, okay? Bite of corn goes out for you, Jeremy Stephens. Anywho, my pick for the fight. I'm rolling with Mason Jones, guys. There is no way I can pick Jeremy Stephens. No way. 29-21 is his record. Okay? He is 38 years old. He last fought 2 years and 5 months ago. Okay? Mason Jones has fought 5 times within his layoff. All right? Mason Jones was he's a Cage Warriors guy now, getting another shot into the UFC. He was in the UFC before. He actually fought David Onama, and if you want to run that fight back, anybody watch it. He handled business with David Onama. Okay, he ate a few shots. He came in a little crazy at times, but he still got the job done. Okay, he got a good win over a UFC guy who is now rising up in the rankings, honestly, after beating Giga. But there's no way I could pick Jeremy Stephens, dude. He is coming off a dang near 3-year layoff. I know he's an Iowa fighter, and respect to my Iowa fighters. I like you guys. Look, I got Iowa on the keychain, right? But I couldn't pick him. I couldn't. Man. Like, why are you doing this fight to begin with? It just don't make sense to me. He's super hittable. He gets taken down easy. He's chinny. I mean, bro, you're washed at this point, man. You're losing in the PFL. You're getting finished easy in the UFC years ago. It's time to hang the gloves up, okay? Take them off, put them on the mat, kiss it, do what you need to do. Because Mason Jones is going to take over, okay? Mason Jones is confident. I know he's a little bit wild and unorthodox at times. And, maybe, Jeremy Stephens can catch him in these kind of crazy brawls and exchanges that he likes to get into. And sometimes Mason Jones gets a little bit wild and reckless and, lets his guard down and leaves himself exposed. But I think he has the chin for it. I think he's better than that. I think he can mix in the wrestling. He has a nice jab. He has really good body shots, too. I love the body shots that Mason Jones works in. And, he has a pretty good amount of experience, okay? Decent clinch work. I like him. I like Mason Jones in this spot. Minus 575. I think it's justified, man. The odds are really stacked against Jeremy Stephens, man. I mean, I respect him for, the amount of work he's put in and all the fights he's had in his career, and now he's an Iowa boy, but, this ain't it for you, buddy. Everyone has a puncher's chance in that octagon. So let's see if you can make it happen. But I got Mason Jones, and I got Mason Jones by knockout, dude. He's gonna finish Jeremy Stephens. He's gonna find the chin. Or he's gonna take him down and get some ground and pound in. That's either what's gonna be. Honestly, it might be a chin, might be a walk-off KO, or a straight shot that'll put him down. Then the ground and pound comes in after a few punches on the ground. The ref calls it. Mason Jones by KO with confidence, man. I'm sorry, Jeremy Stephens. All right. 79% of people picking Mason Jones. I thought this would have been a lot wider. Most say by KO, 61% by KO, 34% by decision. The people on Jeremy Stephens' side, 21% of people picking Jeremy Stephens. Most of them say by KO, 83.2%. Yes, he has the puncher's chance. I think people are picking Jeremy Stephens just because they like him and they see the name, and he's a vet. This ain't it, buddy. The younger guy, 8 years younger than you, flying from Wales to beat you in Des Moines, Iowa. We move on to the next one. On to the next one. We got ladies here going at it. We have Yana Foxy Santos versus Miesha Cupcake Tate. Odds on the fight, we have plus 114 for Yana and minus 135 for Miesha Tate. My pick for this fight is going to be Yana Santos. Give me the slight underdog. Not sure why she's an underdog. And really, she needs to keep this fight standing. That's how she's going to win this fight. If she gets taken down by Miesha Tate, it's going to be gonna be tough sledding for her, man. Her get-up game is pretty bad. And I'll give it to her, right? She's getting taken down by, like, Holly Holm and, Carol Rosa at points. So it's like knockout by Irene Aldana. So it's tough, right? Because those people are, pretty decent at wrestling. But Miesha Tate beat Holly Holm at one point, I believe. Miesha Tate is a pretty good dang wrestler. I just don't like... she's coming off long layoffs. And these two losses here against Ketlin Vieira and Laura Murphy, those are, she couldn't get the takedowns in and really got pieced up on the feet. And I think, that's Yana Santos's path to victory here, right? She's a little bit younger. She's bigger. She has the reach advantage. She has much better striking than Tate. She has fence work. She has great fence work. Mixes in the knees with on the fence there. Sometimes gets a little Muay Thai clinches in. Again, okay kicks, good movement. She just really, again, the focus for this fight for her. Santos, you need to keep the fight standing. It's crazy that she's Santos and she's from Russia. Doesn't line up for me. But hey, Miesha Tate here on the other hand, even though you're a little bit inactive fighter, right? Look at this. It took a 5-year layoff. You're fighting once every year and a half. It's not too much. Her submission game's always live. Okay, so Miesha Tate by submission is always live. And she's a little bit older. 30, pushing 38 at this point. She will handle business on the ground with Santos. It's just that, can she get there? Right? These two losses here looked awful for her. She really got pieced up. And yeah, I know this was the most recent win over Julia Avila, but like, she sucks. Right? That girl is not UFC caliber at all. Miesha Tate showed that. I respect her for the veteranness in the game and the work that she's put in, but Santos, keep the fight standing. You'll win this fight. I think that's how she gets it done. I think Santos gets this done by decision, in a beatdown on the feet with Miesha Tate. I think Miesha Tate will try and get the takedowns, but ultimately won't be able to get them. And will succumb to a striking match and get outclassed. So, give me Yana Santos by decision. Well, that's wild. We have 75% of people picking Miesha Tate. 90% of those people say by decision, slight percentage on submission. 25% of people picking Santos, 95% say by decision. They think she's going to get taken down. I think she can withstand the takedowns. Okay, yeah, you beat Chelsea Chandler, but she's garbage. The Carol Rosa fight, it was close. Honestly, I think it really could have gone either way. A good showing, though. And then, the Holly Holm and Irene Aldana, those are tough losses. But she beat Ketlin Vieira years ago, right? When she was a rising prospect. So, Santos is live. Right? Santos is live to win this. I got her on the bet. We move on. On the pick. Sorry, guys. All right. Next fight here. We have Azamat Bekoev, aka Iron, versus Ryan Loder, the Man of Steel. Odds on the fight, we have minus 380 for Azamat Bekoev and plus 300 for Ryan Loder. Before I go any further, we got another Iowa boy, Ryan Loder. My boy's from Webster City, Iowa. Honestly, that's a small town. I really ain't too sure. I've never been there, to be honest with you. Somewhere in northern Iowa there. He's a UNI wrestler, so shout out to another Iowa boy here fighting in Des Moines. So, you know what we do. We take a bite of corn for the Iowa boy. Now, my pick for the fight is going to be Azamat Bekoev. I can't go with the Iowa boy here. These were actually both of the two, kind of Iowa-linked fighters on this card. Unfortunately, I can't pick either of them in their spots. Now, Ryan Loder does have a chance. I would say he has a live submission threat. Okay, it is there. He handled business against Robert Valentin, but Robert Valentin really didn't show to be too good, right? Azamat Bekoev. This is his second fight in the UFC, coming off a nice ground and pound KO versus Zach Reese. Bekoev has a lot more MMA experience than Ryan Loder does. Ryan Loder has, again, this is kind of like a Bo Nickal kind of thing. He has a lot more wrestling experience, right? And he's tough and he's feisty. His striking just needs a little more improvement. And Azamat Bekoev, he's got that KO power, right? He's got that KO power. He has decent striking. Like Russian, you know we love them Russians. He's not an OV, but he's an EV, okay? He leave himself, a little bit hittable, and he can eat shots at times, but he mixes in nice little small combos. He's not like Chinny, right? He's not Chinny. Let me just say he's not Chinny. He mixes in small little combos here and there. Okay fence work, training out of a good gym, and I think he has solid takedown defense. I think he has better takedown, good takedown defense, and I think it's going to withhold Ryan Loder's attempts. I think Azamat Bekoev is going to hold him up on the feet. I think Azamat Bekoev is live for a knockout here, guys. I think he is. He can get his own takedowns too. He has great top control, honestly. How I think his knockout comes is probably by ground and pound. I think he can take down Ryan Loder of his own, or if he gets taken down for some reason, I think he has the ability and can flip position, reverse position, or get back up pretty easy. His get game's not too bad, but his top control is amazing, man. Mixes in the ground and pound, heavy ground and pound, and that's what I would say is Bekoev by KO. Give me iron, man. I'm iron versus Man of Steel. That's kind of funny. If you're in the aspect of metals, right? Isn't steel better than iron? You would think, right? But we got iron, right? Give me Azamat Bekoev by KO. Sorry, Ryan Loder, to go against my Iowa boys again. It's tough for me. He's fighting out of California. He's from Iowa. Promise you. All right, 85% of people picking Bekoev, 57.8% by decision, 40% by KO. 15% of people on the Loder side, they say 62% by decision, 27% by KO. Ryan Loder's live for the sub, I think. I think he is live for the sub. He needs to check his kicks. He has bad distance management. He allows people to get into him easy. So I think Azamat Bekoev can strike up and maybe clinch up easy. And look, Loder he's a feisty guy. Again, he's tough. He has some powerful shots. He has good ground and pound. I think the submission is live on his end too. If he's on bottom there, BJJ isn't bad. He has okay kicks. I just don't see Ryan Loder taking this, man. Azamat Bekoev by KO is my pick. We move on. Another women's fight. We have Marina Rodriguez versus Gillian Robertson, the Savage. Odds of the fight here, we have plus 270 for Marina. Well, and minus 340 for Gillian Robertson. My pick for this fight is going to be Gillian Robertson. Give me the Savage. Give me the younger girl here. She is dang near 10 years younger than Marina. I'll give Marina Rodriguez credit where it's due. She's a UFC vet. She always puts up a good fight in her fights. She's losing to pretty good competition. It's just she gets taken down pretty easy. She needs more impactful volume on her shots, and she just seems too hesitant at times. And Gillian Robertson, she has great cardio. She has good takedowns. She has great top control. Her striking's okay, right? If this was maybe a stand-up fight completely, I think maybe Rodriguez would maybe take that. But Robertson has the good momentum. She has her own subs too, man. She has her own subs too. But how I see this fight playing out is Gillian Robertson is going to take this girl down to the ground. Gillian Robertson is going to take Rodriguez down easy, okay? Ground and pound, sub, that's all live, okay? Rodriguez is tough and smart though, okay? And she's gone 3 rounds with people getting beat up. Verna, Andrade, Lucindo. Okay, so she puts up a good fight, and she'll get in some nice shots from the ground. She has decent Muay Thai. She has, she's gonna have this like a longer, lengthier frame, right? So she'll maybe try and keep this reach and distance advantage, but usually that doesn't end up going too well. Robertson will be able to close distance. She has, again, Robertson has decent striking, but it's not. I would say Rodriguez has the advantage in that sense. And even though Robertson's 29, she's a vet, man. She's been fighting the UFC for a while, So, both UFC vets here. Rodriguez kind of going up against better competition than Robertson. But I got Robertson by decision, man. I think she has a dominant performance over Rodriguez. I think she shows that she is, moving on up in her career, in the rankings here. And man, I think she gets it done, dude. Solid top control. I think she gets some nice little elbows in, nice punches in. She's decent on the fence too. I like Gillian Robertson. Now the number minus 340. Now, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? But pick wise, Gillian Robertson definitely is the pick by decision. The people on Tapology. 83% of people on the Robertson side, most say by decision, 61%. 36% by submission. That is live. Robertson has live submissions, dude. 17% of people picking Rodriguez. Out of those people, 83% saying by decision. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I think she's just on the end of her career. Robertson's gonna, has a lot more energy, stronger, more youthful, has a better cardio. She's gonna take care of business. So I think that's why the odds where they are is because she's probably gonna win. But yeah, we got Gillian Robertson for the pick. We move on. All right, next fight on the card here. We have Gaston Bolanos, the Dream Killer, versus Quang Bang Lee. She bangs, oh baby, how she moves. My pick for this fight, odds first. We have minus 155 for Gaston Bolanos and plus 130 for Quang Lee. Sorry, I was getting caught up in the song there. My pick for the fight is going to be Gaston Bolanos, the Dream Killer. I think he gets this fight done. I think he gets it done. I think he gets it taken care of. This is really a Bellator versus LFA kind of fight if you look at it in a sense. I mean, Quang Lee, LFA. Gaston Bolanos. I mean, that's their previous organizations here. And when it comes to a sense of competition they faced, I would lean toward Gaston, right? I think Bellator competition is better than LFA. Now, Quang's tough, okay? Came into the UFC short notice with that Chris Gutierrez fight. They gave him that opportunity there. Ultimately lost it, but went 3 rounds with Chris Gutierrez. Not bad. But the loss against Long Chow, not a good look. He really was getting kind of pieced up and ultimately got chinned at the end of the day. He has good front kicks. He has decent pressure, right? He has nice hands. But he'll get taken down pretty easy, right? Gaston Bolanos, I'm just kind of giving him the lean and the advantage because he has more experience, I think, and better experience when it comes to fighting. He has decent striking. He has decent striking. He moves around okay. He keeps good distance. Has nice kicks. If he does get taken down, he does have the ability to get back up. He's just what I anticipate here is a Quang Lee kind of maybe trying to get in and getting frustrated. But I don't know. This was one of these tough ones that I went back and forth with, guys. It was really hard for me to pick this fight. Because Quang Lee, he has had some violent knockouts in the past. Gaston has been chinned and exposed at some points. I don't know. It was tough. Like, take this pick with a grain of salt, guys. Take this pick with a grain of salt. Gaston Bolanos. His fighter IQ lacks at times, sometimes in the octagon, and he'll try and keep the distance. Will Quang be able to close it? I don't know. I like Gaston Bolanos' kicks, and I lean Gaston Bolanos. It was a really tough one for me to pick, guys. I picked him against Cortavius Romeus. He handled business there. This was a bad fight, man. He got whooped by Marcus McGee. But 3 fights in the UFC, 2-1 in the UFC. Quang is 0-2 in the UFC. What would you pick, right? I'm leaning Gaston Bolanos. This is probably one I'm not even gonna bet on, to be honest with you. Gaston Bolanos, keep the distance, go in and out with your entries. Mix in the kicks so Quang will slow down. Quang Lee's a scrapper, right? You can't let him bully you, and you'll get overcome and beat the F up. So, yeah, I got Gaston Bolanos. I would say by decision. It's good matchmaking. This is good matchmaking. Because I dang near picked Quang Le. I really did. But I had to lean the Bellator experience. I had to lean, the experience the fights I've seen from Gaston Bolanos. Takedown defense pretty dang good. Coming from a really athletic and solid kind of wrestler and takedown guy in Cortavius Romeus. Yes, he got taken down, but he got withstood the takedowns at some point. And if he did get taken down, he was able to get back up. Quang Le really, doesn't really mix that game in. I don't know. He's hesitant at times. Quang Le's hesitant at times. What do the people on Tapology have to say? Bolanos. 85% of people picking Bolanos. And 85% of those people say by decision. 15% say KO. Quang Le. 15% of people picking Quang Le, and 72% of those people say by decision. 22% by KO. Gaston could get chinned. I don't know. This is a tough one for me to pick. I lean Gaston, but I don't know if he'll make it on an official bet at all. Maybe the over 1.5, something to look at. I think both of these guys can go over 1.5 rounds. I don't know if those lines have come out yet, but we move on to our next fight. Some heavyweights going at it on the early prelims. You gotta love it. In Des Moines, Iowa. I said I'd drop some lore throughout the video, right? Des Moines, Iowa, if you guys don't know, there's a spot called Bebop's Burgers, okay? It's basically like the Des Moines version of like In-N-Out Burger. It's super freaking good, okay? So if anyone's in the Des Moines area, hit up Bebop's. You won't regret it. The fight here, though, let's get to it. Don'Tale Mayes, Lord Kong, versus Thomas the Train Petersen. Odds on the fight, we have plus 210 for Don'Tale Mayes and minus 258 for the Train. My pick for this fight is going to be Thomas Petersen. Give me the Train. I believe and I hope he uses his dang wrestling and is able to take Don'Tale Mayes to the ground and get some pray, lay, and patter is what I call it. Okay? Take him down. Lay on him, beat him up enough so the ref doesn't pull you up, okay? Jamal Pogues pieced up the Train, all right? Don'Tale Mayes has decent boxing. I don't think Thomas Petersen wants to sit here and stand with Don'Tale Mayes. He needs to make this fight dirty. He needs to get it to the fence. He needs to take him down. He needs to realize that, okay? Knock it in your head. Don'Tale Mayes has a huge reach advantage. What is it, like 8 inches? Dude, 7-inch reach advantage. Don'Tale Mayes is 5 inches taller than him. Don'Tale Mayes is, his losses, right? Walter Walker, Shamil Gaziev, Rodrigo Nascimento. I mean, they're in, okay, respectable heavyweight competition, but winning against Andrei Arlovsky, at least he knocked him out. And then, account that Kai Machado fight, you know what I mean? That's just like, your wins aren't really that notable, And neither on the side of Thomas Petersen either, right? Muhammad Usman, Chandler Cole. So it's not like these people are notable either. Thomas Petersen, fighting out of that southpaw stance. He needs to throw a lot of kicks. Maybe he can slow down Don'Tale Mayes, get a lot of leg kicks in. Don'Tale Mayes is very active, guys, and has a lot more UFC experience. I think if he keeps standing, Don'Tale Mayes has honestly the advantage on the feet. I think he'd be able to take it if it stays on the feet. I'm picking Thomas Petersen based upon the fact and hoping that he realizes, hey, let's take this guy down because I'm outmatched on the feet. He has solid wrestling, guys, and solid top control. Like, do what you're good at, okay? I mean, he has okay blitzes and entries. Use that to take Don'Tale Mayes down, okay? I mean, the cardio issues on both of these guys are bad. They have bad cardio, both of them. But ultimately, I do think it goes to decision. I got Thomas the Petersen trained by decision. Take the easiest path, man. Take the path of least resistance. Take Don'Tale Mayes down and make it boring. Okay? I don't care if you do it, but that's the way you win this fight. Because I just feel like he's going to get pieced up. Is Thomas Petersen going to find the chin of Don'Tale Mayes? I mean, either of these guys could find a knockout shot. It is possible. But I don't see that, man. I think Thomas Petersen is going to get frustrated with the distance because Don'Tale Mayes is going to be constantly throwing that jab out there. He does throw some kicks every now and then too. He has okay kicks. Could use them more. And he's fighting better competition than Thomas Train Petersen. Thomas the trains fighting LFA guys prior to this. You know what I mean? 9-3. So what does Tapology have to say? 81% of people picking Thomas Petersen. 85% of those people say by decision. Few say by KO. 8%. Don'Tale Mayes, the 19% of people on Don'Tale Mayes, 60% say by decision and 40% say by KO. Yeah. On this, I think we got a nice little heavyweight banger to start the card. But I guess in my prediction, it's not going to be a banger. I hope Petersen makes it boring, and that's his way to win, right? Don't get pieced up like you did by Jamal Pokes, because Don'Tale Mayes can make that fight happen. So the train's the pick. I'm not your coach, but I'm pretty sure they're probably telling you something along the lines that I'm saying too. And our first fight of the card, we have Juliana Killer Miller versus Ivana Petrovic. Odds on the fight, plus 190 for Juliana, minus 230 for Ivana Petrovic. My pick for this fight is going to be Ivana Petrovic, man. I do not trust Juliana Miller whatsoever. I do not think she is UFC caliber at all. She has bad defense. She is hittable AF. I will say she is, I don't know, maybe she could get a lucky chance with her raw, wild striking, or her fence works okay. She's okay in the clinch and on the fence and has some nice knees. But awful takedown defense, right? Super hittable. Chinny. No subs are live, really. Maybe an armbar, because Ivana was caught in suspect spots with an armbar there. But I think Ivana Petrovic is much more composed in the octagon. She has good takedowns, good kickboxing. I think she's going to handle, I'd say, Ivana Petrovic inside the distance, man. She's probably going to take her down and get a ground and pound or a sub. She can get pressured a little bit. Maybe for a minute or two, Juliana Miller might find some success with her length, but I think Ivana Petrovic will realize, hey, I'm not dealing with, this is let me just go in on this girl, right? Let me just go in and work. I think she will get her takedowns at ease if she wants them. I think she will piece her up on the feet. I think Ivana Petrovic is better than Juliana Miller everywhere. Maybe a slight advantage for Miller on the fence, but that's it. I can't see Juliana Miller winning this thing, dude. She's 3-3. Okay, 3-3. 1-3 in the UFC, or 1-2 in the UFC. I don't even know. Brogan Walker, this girl's a scrub. Veronica Hardy beat the crap out of you. Luana Santos finished you. Right? Now on the Ivana Petrovic side, run back this Jamie Lynn Horth fight. She won this fight. She got robbed. Okay? Wins versus Na Liang via submission. Losing to Luana Carolina. Now look, I mean, that's not like the best competition in the UFC, right? And I believe that she would handle Juliana Miller too, Luana Carolina. But that's her UFC debut. She should be 2-1 in the UFC. All right, she's about to make it 2-2. She's gonna get her redemption here. Okay, Ivana Petrovic inside the distance. I think she gets it done by KO, a ground and pound. Juliana Miller got KO'd. This Luana Santos one, she was literally standing and got KO. She was just stopped defending herself. So, we got Ivana Petrovic by KO. What do the people on Tapology have to say? Holy moly, 92% of people picking Petrovic, 87.5% by decision. 8% of people picking Juliana Miller, 81.8% say by decision. 10% by submission on the Petrovic side. 2% by KO. I'm in the 2%. Bro, Miller will not stand 3 rounds with Ivana Petrovic. I don't think so, guys. So, yeah. Ivana Petrovic is the pick. And guys, and gals, if you're here, that concludes the full card breakdown for UFC Des Moines. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Appreciate your support. Click that click the subscribe button. Like the video. Comment. Share it to your friends and family. Support goes a long way. Subscribe to the Patreon, guys. The link's in the description. That's where you can get all my bets when I place them. Get the odds when they're good. They always sway the opposite way when it comes to fight day. And you can see it last week, guys. The odds swayed like crazy. And we hit all the bets in at good numbers. So, we'll go over the bets on Wednesday. That's on Wednesday's video, so stay tuned for that. But for UFC Des Moines, let's have a good week. Young Pastey, out. See ya.